Hello, my name is Scott for SP Gaming. We're back here in Her Story, and where I left off, I had started doing a search for the term attic because it is one of those ones that had a lot of results, 12 of them to be precise, and we had only been able to see the first 5 because, of course, our results were limited way back when. And now that I can see more clips at a time, well, we can, of course, watch more clips. Anyway, yeah, this is this one here. Anyway, let's go on to this 45-second clip.
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
Alright, yeah, there were some terms in there that I've wanted to do search on, but I've just... The list that I actually have of terms to search for is longer than can fit on one screen. So, once we get through these terms like attic, where there's many more results than we could have actually looked at, I will be going back in and going back through the list. Hopefully we'll be able to dig up even more clips, but I'm going to add that to session. I'm going to play it once more.
There were always princes and princesses.
Yeah,
they were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories.
Terms I have on my list.
We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses.
Do I have twin on my list?
We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place.
Twin and special.
And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later...
Okay. Twin. I'm pretty sure I have twin on the list. I don't believe I've searched for it. Special. And yeah, Prince and Princesses, if I'm not mistaken, is on the list. Yep, it's fairly early up. So I won't add those to the list because, well, they're already added to the list. Let's take a look at the 1 minute 55-second clip. Alright.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow, so we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, in parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
Yeah. Did Hannah really betray them? So even through all that, she decided to take the fall for Hannah. I'm gonna have to go back through that one off camera. Which one was it? This one? No, this one I never got around to going back to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on. Possibly. Anyway, let's go on to this 1 minute 7 second clip. And yeah, these are all from the last interview.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I'd slept through it. The police said it was mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them. And there's no way you would have picked dead caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
Wow. Yeah, so really. Alright, so yeah, when Hannah got pregnant and then she got married, moved in with Eleanor and Doug, and then Hannah stayed up in the attic. This was when they were about 17 years old. And I think she said something about them wanting to complete, it was either in this one or that one, become their own person. Neither of them wanted to. I don't know if I'm remembering. Yeah, let's take a look at this clip again.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time.
I would imagine.
I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead.
She was living in the attic when her parents were
They
dead.
were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up.
And what I had suspected, they went to bed together.
And slept through it.
And they woke up, or at least didn't wake up. They died in their sleep.
The police said it was mushrooms they ate.
I had suspected it was a poisoning.
Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them.
This definitely is indicating that Eve most likely killed their parents so that... Yeah, Eve most likely killed their parents so that Hannah and Simon would inherit the house. They'd move in and she'd be able to move in with them. Although she had been living with... Yeah. I think the police may be putting Eve away for a long, long time. Oh, this is interesting. Mushroom. I doubt it's going to come up in other... Sick. I'm going to see if STD is in another bunch of clips. I know it's come up with in the previous one, where she was trying to get pregnant because, of course, Hannah was pregnant. So obviously she couldn't switch places with her sister because obviously, you know, one day she's pregnant, another day she's not pregnant, kind of thing. And obviously Hannah's appearance would be changing because, you know, gaining weight, you know, baby and all that. So they wouldn't be able to play the Switch a Twin game, obviously. And yeah, there's no way that she'd be able to get pregnant with anyone they actually knew. So yeah, strangers and all that. But yeah, that's actually from another, talking about another clip anyway. That one has been added to the session, and we are going to move on to this last one. 27-second clip.
It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird, in a way it hadn't been before.
You know what? Weird has been on the list. I don't think I've actually done a search for it. Actually, I'm pretty sure I haven't done a search for it. Or I might have. Weird. Although, if it had come up, then this clip would have eventually popped up. Unless there was many more clips, of course, then at that point we would have done it with the unlock code. Anyway, that is the last of the attic clips. Let's take a look to see. Yep, we are filling in more of the details here. This is actually a fairly extensive interview. Anyway, midwife, attic. What I'm going to do next is, what is it? Admin _random. And one entry found. Clip stored in user session. And it doesn't show up as a term, so this is interesting. Let's take a look at this 4-second clip. I'm going to, yeah, just play.
Yes, I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key.
Yes, I always pull it shut. Interesting. I'm thinking, yep, it will show you a random clip. From my understanding, it may show you clips you've already seen, but this is a way to pick out bits and pieces that you might not have seen. Of course, the closer you get to being completed, the more likely you are to find an actual clip that you've already seen. Let's take a look at this 6-second clip.
Are you married? How is your sex life?
Wow. Are you married? How is your sex life? Yeah, so that's married is another clip that is on my list of terms to search for, so we will get there. Of course, now that we've seen it, we won't need to see it anymore. Where is an attic? Right here. So this is where we are at. We have stories. We can do story, glazier, fairy tale. I'm going to take a look at this one. Stories, 8 clips found. We've watched them all. Let's go to story. First 5 we've seen. This last one we have not seen. 57-second clip.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Well. Oh, yeah. So that is how Simon died. There was something about the mirror. Mirror has been on my list since the very beginning. So he gave her a gift, the exact same one that she had been given previously. It was a rather unique mirror. If I'm not mistaken, it was one that he had made himself as an anniversary present, and obviously if he made it, he would have made a second one, and so it's not surprising that there would be a second one. Just the way it is as a craftsman. Let's take a look at this one again.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me.
Wig is a term.
They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier.
Okay, so
that unique present. She went crazy.
She went crazy
the
because
they argued, screamed.
She realized Simon wanted to be with Eve.
So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round.
Oh, we gotta search for mirror. We gotta search for mirror.
She'd only meant to scare him off.
Did you just hear? Yeah. Interesting. Alright, that's the last of the story terms. You know what? I'm doing mirror. Then we'll carry on to those terms. 11 entries found for mirror. 3 of them here. We haven't seen these 3. And we've seen these 5. Let's find out a little bit more about the mirror. 14-second clip.
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
Okay.
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think.
So the police are asking about the mirror. This is on June 27th. We'd have to probably review these ones. Yeah, mirror, princess, prince, present.
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. The present so much. It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
So this line of questioning has to do with the time of Simon's death. It's entirely possible that the forensics would have pinpointed when Simon died, therefore... Wait a minute. No. The 25th? I don't think the police actually know that the... Oh, I wish I could find the previous couple clips just to refresh my memory, because yeah, at this point Simon's body hasn't been discovered. I believe it gets discovered. This was on the 27th of June. Yeah, his body, or they reveal that Simon's body exists on the 26th or 27th. I think it's this where she calls the police after discovering the body. She comes in for this interview and she outlines how she found Simon's body. Alright, so now this is on the 30th of June. 18-second clip. Did I want to do anything with this clip?
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think.
No, there wasn't anything I wanted to. Let's take a look at this clip.
Silverleaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection.
Well, with that, take a look at it.
Silverleaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection.
Yeah, about that. So, I think I've reflection. I think that's a term I've wanted to do a search on. I think I've in one of these past videos possibly, or did I? Yep, reflection there. Okay. And let's take a look at this clip. 18 seconds.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it. By hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror. And he gave it to me.
Okay, she's describing how he makes the mirror. But they are most likely inquiring because after the body was discovered, forensics and all that, probably the elements of the silvering used on the mirror was found in the wound. That would make sense because, of course, he was cut in the throat with it. And let's watch it again.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it. By hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror. And he gave it to me.
Alright. I might... No, I'm gonna skip that one for now. So yeah, that's been on my list. I've wanted to do a search for that, but yeah. Now we've done the search for it, and I think I can move on. Did we do story again? Yes, we did. Glazier. We've seen all the clips with Glazier in them. Fairy Tale. One more clip with Fairy Tale. And this is a 29-second clip.
I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Yep, the story of their life.
I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen.
Thought.
We would become one.
Mm-hmm.
One girl.
Thought girl.
The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Thought girl. Place witch. Have I done a search for witch? From what I can see, I haven't. Actually, I don't need to look at the terms I've haven't searched for yet. I can always go through here. But at this point, I just might have to end it here because it is getting to that point. Anyway, in the next episode, we will continue on, and most likely I will finish up these terms where there were more than 5 results that we could not actually take a look at, such as Fairy Tale was the last one we did. I'll probably look at Children. I will probably look at Hannah, definitely Hannah. Have we done Eve again after Family, Pregnant, Glasgow? Now that we can do Husband, okay, possibly, definitely Simon. I definitely want to see what pops up with Simon, unless I've already done as much as I could with Simon. Oh, it doesn't look like so. That will be coming up next time. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Her Story. My name is Scott for SP Gaming, and as always, have a good day.